my previous videos, I would suggest watching them so you understand the concepts that we're going to be talking about today and how they all tie together. The difference between what we're looking at here and, let's say, the JFK assassination is we are actually right in the middle of the event. We actually know who these individuals are, and we have the opportunity to stop them if we so choose. Unlike the JFK assassination, where we are left picking up the pieces and putting the puzzle back together after the event already took place. My intentions of this video are to avoid that ending and hopefully rewrite the ending in our favor, instead of allowing these individuals to manipulate and control our destiny. So it's up to you to understand this concept. It's up to you to spread this information, and then it's also up to you to act on it, if you so choose. The reason why my information is different than others is mine is based on photographic evidence, not hearsay, not some book that somebody wrote, not some rumor spread around, but photographic evidence, hard photographic evidence and video evidence of these individuals taking part in a deception that is being used to manipulate your perception of reality, and it has been going on for centuries, if not longer. You'll see the proof, you'll see who these people are, as I name them by names, not just family members as everybody's rumored in the past. These are individuals that can be held accountable for their actions, since they chose to take a part of this event, and they continue to deceive and keep it hidden from everyone else who they really are. We need everyone to stand behind this work, and even if you don't agree with the findings, at least get the findings in front of the people that can possibly question these individuals or hold them accountable and put them on the spot and make them either fess up or step down. That's the only way that we can get some things accomplished here, instead of being at each other's throats and trying to cause problems for one another. We should allow each other to promote their questions to the person and get the answers from the person.
So this is Zuccotti Park, formerly known as Liberty Square, apparently. It's very appropriate. And this is the scene where, in the early hours of this morning...
David Ike. Pretty well-known individual. Pretty high profile. So therefore, some of you are having a hard time understanding that when I outed him for being Sir Richard Branson, you had a difficult time seeing it. So I'm going to show you some solid evidence, some solid proof. Not only do they look alike, and not only do they match the facial landmarks, but they sound alike, and they have another common bond between them both that I think you'll find pretty interesting.
They would be 6, 7, 8 foot tall, and I would be able to...
Well, Steve regains the lead, but Alex wouldn't let him get away, and in frame 6 they were all square again. And remember, it's the best.
They would be 6, 7, 8 foot tall, and I would be able to...
The guy came to me at the break who'd been on...
they would be 6, 7, 8 foot tall, and...
a much more anxious America, a more fearful America, and certainly walking around New York City with the protests...
Giant corporation is that each of those companies are relatively small in their sector. They're hungry. You know, they've got people running them who've got a stake in the company, and you know, we're
the native.
So in addition to that, he is a Sir Richard Branson, so he's loyal to the Queen. Remember that, because it comes into play later on with someone else. Now, I sat back and I thought, what else could I compile together to convince people that they are the same person? And I remembered that they each have a son. So I went digging, and I found some things that I think you'll find pretty interesting. So I wondered, what does this son do? He plays in a band. How convenient. So then, of course, the next thought in my head was, are they really going to be that stupid and have him signed to Virgin Records? I mean, come on, that would just be obvious. Which, of course, they don't. But what they did do is interesting. Yeah, so they have him doing some commercials for Virgin. But that's not all. Now, remember when Branson did the space adventure, partnered up with Google, and he had the contest to see who would go into outer space? Wow, check this out.
Just happy to audition. I've got my handy dandy Martian water container. I think I'd be a great pioneer because I've got a lot of drive. I'm really lonely. I don't have any friends here. This is also my eharmony.com video. So please.
I thought it was brilliant. It was very beautifully shot and edited, and it really sort of captured what, you know, the essence of India is sort of about. For me, I've been a few times, mainly to Goa, but I've been to Kerala once before, and it's a beautiful place with amazing culture and brilliant people, and that sort of managed to capture the essence of what it's about.
Now that's Branson's son. Look alike? Yeah, they do, because it's the same kid. So now you got some proof there that David Ike is Richard Branson. Solid proof. Now, let's go in and see some more solid proof about what he's up to.
The Occupy protesters were removed by the police, and this place is crawling with police. And that bloody whistle they bloody have, I don't know, keeps them happy, I suppose.
And make sure you take note of the fact that he's talking on a set. These people that are walking in the background, the extras, they don't have any direction of where they're going, so you can tell that they're on cue to walk in the background, and they really have nothing to do. So the fact that they're looking in the cameras, it's obvious that this is a staged set. But that's beside the point. So let's go back to what we're looking at.
Let's see what's going on.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit here and just fast forward through this to the parts that we want to talk about. G20, Canada, actor. And for those of you that are going to, of course, mention the hands and not even look at the evidence here, you'll notice that he's wearing prosthetics on the back of his hands that make his knuckles look larger. You can see it clearly in some of the other shots. Thanks, Dave, for the high-resolution camera footage this time. We haven't been able to observe this in his other videos. But by holding his hand in a certain position, and of course the lens that they use, anything that gets close to the middle of the lens with that perspective makes the hands look larger. So that combined with the prosthetic that you can see attached to the back, and makes his knuckles look thicker and fingers look out of place, you can effectively create that arthritis, so he says.
Disgusting history has cost the lives of hundreds of millions, if not billions of people, because of the effect the decisions and the gambling and the manipulation and the corruption in this place has had on the lives of some of the poorest people on planet Earth. No wonder people are sick of it.
Ask Dave if he accepts credit cards on his video sales. Hypocrite. Of course he does. So he supports the banking system as much as anybody else. So read through his bullshit. Now you know he's fake. But let's see who he's actually associated with now, since you know that he's Branson. And you're going to see some individuals in this video that are family members, and you'll get a better understanding of who Sir Richard Branson really is.
you were here from what? September 17th?
Yeah, I got here the very first night.
What made you come to start with?
Now listen to how she speaks, the pattern of her voice, and what she's actually saying. And remember an individual that we've already exposed during the 9/11 Pentagon footage. See if you can't figure it out.
Just the system is so screwed up. I don't even know where to start. You know, there's so many issues.
Absolutely.
But I wanted to come here to try to make a change somehow.
At least making a statement that we're not having it, yeah, or that we know that the system is what it is.
Right, exactly.
That's the start, isn't it?
Yes.
So what's it been like being here through this period?
Things changed so much. In the beginning, we were a small group. I think we were about 60 people the first night.
Right.
And we made it through the first couple nights. We stayed awake all night, so we were up for days because we weren't sure what was going to happen.
The alert sign, it went in the new wedge, the old wedge. I couldn't find it, so I asked somebody with a military uniform, and he said, "Oh, this building's so safe. We don't post that." So I felt very comfortable in here. Where another.
So it didn't really look like a structure, so it didn't get kicked down. But all my neighbors always got kicked down. So we really fought for that space. And
happen in America, I guess it does. I was concerned that I was going to die, and I didn't know what to do. People were hurt around me. I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt guilty.
People, especially in the beginning, like the first rainstorm, we were trying to make it through that, and you know, we were just trying to cover the computer.
If you've watched my last documentary, you'll know who Alyssa Bloomberg is. She's married to Kenny Bloomberg. Alyssa's half-sister is Jennifer, who is pictured next to her. Jennifer's brother is Tony Greenberg. So Jennifer, Tony, and Alyssa, their father is Michael Greenberg. Michael Greenberg is the son of Maurice Greenberg, the ex-CEO of AIG. Now remember Jennifer, because she's going to come into play later on in this video, and you're going to be surprised at who she also plays, and it's going to make a lot of sense when it comes to the attacks that people have been making on my work, because you're going to find out who's behind those attacks.
Needs to go. That's the thing. And if you don't understand the game, then you become manipulatable. When you know the game, and they say, you know, pushing you to call for world government and stuff to overcome the banks, then you go, but the world government's exactly what you've been working for hundreds of years for. So,
now you heard what he just said. These people have been planning this for hundreds of years to try to get a World Bank or the one world government. They've been working hard at doing this, at collapsing the economies of major countries. And the person that he's standing with is one of the family members that he's discussing. He knows it's her. Of course he does. He's part of this thing. So, you know that now. Now listen to what she says. She's one of these people, the family that are doing this. Just listen to what she says about the World Bank. And remember, AIG, her grandfather, Maurice Greenberg.
you can see that you're being pushed in a direction that those you're protesting against want. But if you don't know the game, you can think, yeah, world government, good idea, stop the banks, and you then demand what the bloody banks want.
And you'd be really surprised when you drop the name World Bank, how many people didn't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shocking, really.
So you have figured this out, correct? Remember, this is Sir Richard Branson. Sir. His loyalty is to the Queen. Let's skip ahead to the next person.
It was all in my wallet. Right now I'm a vagrant and apparently I can go to jail because I have no identification.
What happened last night, mate?
Fucking ridiculous.
What happened last night?
Last night I'm sleeping in my tent and at about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Now, unless you're from Philadelphia like I am, you might not have picked up on this accent here. This is a South Philly, Marcus Hook, Chichester, somewhere around there. That's one of those accents. It's not Jersey, it's not all Philly, it's a little bit outside of Philly. But this is one of the Jackass, MTV Jackass crew. And you're going to be surprised at who he is.
I heard screaming and yelling and all kinds of shit, commotion, people screaming, cops running around in riot gear.
Did you catch that micro-expression? Micro-expression is a small fraction of a second that your face will respond to a question being asked to you, or as you're speaking you'll realize something and you will react to the thought inside of your head and make an expression so quick that you don't even realize you're making it. So let me play it for you again, just to see if you can pick up on it.
I heard screaming and yelling and all kinds of shit, commotion, people screaming, cops running around in riot gear, chasing people. They were smoking cigars, laughing.
Well, the cops were.
The cops were.
Yeah.
And like they're telling us to get out, leave here, and they're gonna get up.
It was such a pain in the ass when we had a window because, you know, we locked the keys in the car.
Yeah, that's Bam Margera from Viva La Bam, his own TV show on MTV, and also from Jackass. Remember him because we're going to talk about him in a little bit. He plays an even bigger role in this.
The time, and then we just have to like break the window. It works out. I mean, when it rains, it sucks, but you get over it.
Here, my wallet, my medication for my PTSD.
See this guy here? He's the brother of the guy that was arrested on the Brooklyn Bridge during the beginning of this event. They have another brother that plays an important role in this event, and I'll talk about him in a moment.
They are people who think they have power, but they have no power whatsoever. They are merely animating a uniform which has the power, which is an extension of the state. And when they take the uniform off or get another job, they have no power. Someone else comes in, takes it on, and the uniform still is the power.
Notice the references to acting as the person puts on the costume or the uniform and he acts like he has power, and then he takes it off and somebody else puts on a uniform and they act like it. Well, he's talking about acting here, and this is a set.
And they're in prison too. I mean, you know, they are themselves, they have children, they have grandchildren, and their kids are going to have to live in the world that they're helping to enforce. And when the penny eventually drops, and it is in some of them, that that's what they're doing. They're going to be pretty horrified. And then there's the other kind of police now, where they use things like biometric testing, which are like job application forms that glean someone's personality. And they're looking for the psychopaths and the narcissists.
See this guy in the background here? You're going to see him in another photograph. The Jefferson Memorial fake arrests with Adam Kokesh. Yeah. You want to doubt that I have a photographic memory for faces? I spot these things all the time. They're all over the place, especially when they're staged events. You can tell and you know that if it's a staged event, they're going to have all their family members and friends and the same individuals in the backgrounds making up the extras.
It's just, I feel like they're just trying to get everyone, scare people.
There are several things I want you to notice in this screenshot. First, the back of his hand. You can clearly see the prosthetic that's been applied to make his hand look swollen. And underneath, you'll see the markings of post-production work done to his pinky to make his finger look bent. This is how he pulls off the claims of arthritis when he plays, of course, David Ike. When he plays Branson, he doesn't have the prosthetic and his hand looks normal. The second thing I want you to notice is the person that he's talking to.
Times one voice comes up as like the more powerful voice.
Notice the hand gestures.
You know, especially when the billions of dollars.
This is Ryan Dunn's grip for the TV show Proving Grounds, which I exposed earlier. And the third thing I want you to notice is the police officer in the middle of the frame, the rather small police officer. That's Wee Man from Jackass, making another cameo.
Scare people, and they want to cut down the numbers. I don't know. I mean,
well, I think they're doing two things. They're trying to scare and intimidate people, and they're also trying to trigger people to get so freaking angry that
they want martial law.
They want to fight. They want the violence, so that they can then problem, reaction, solution, introduce their martial law. Exactly. When you.
So do you think it's a coincidence that the camera just happens to be set up on the spot where Wee Man is standing right in the background, dead center in the middle of the frame, and he just so happens to be talking to a Jackass member, and Tony Greenberg is standing alongside of him? if that just in itself doesn't convince you that David Ike is part of this whole scam, then nothing will.
People, get rid of them, make life really bad for them so that they I can't stand this anymore, and they go home. And also trigger other people to start violence, or of course, put their own bloody uniforms in civilian clothes to start the bloody violence and claim it's bloody protesters. We've got this real kind of contrast here. Over there is the park where all the protesters have been, and over here is staff, it seems, from Brown Brothers Harriman. This is I mean, if you look at it, look at the size of the frickin' building. Brown Brothers Harriman are one of the major Illuminati banks of the last, well, going back to the 1800s, and they're having their picture taken here. This is the kind of 1% that the people are talking about, and you know, while people are suffering and people are losing their homes and are going into the streets.
You are talking directly to the family members, to the 1%ers, and getting advice from them and broadcasting it like your little propaganda to the rest of the world so they can all get messed up as well as these people are. So, David Ike exposed. And just like all the other fake events that I've been investigating, we got the tie into Pima again. Pima County Graphic Service Department. Mr. David Weber.
It's a damp New York morning. It's November the 16th, and it's one day before the 2-month anniversary of the occupation here in the park. It's down the road from Wall Street, and it's one day after the police raid on the camp and the court decisions that say, yeah, people can come here and protest during the day. But they can't stay overnight, and they can't take anything in there that constitutes. Okay, it's an increasingly wet day in New York. Here we are in the park, and with me is Luke Rudkowski of We Are Change New York, who we met last year when I was here, and he's done a great job and doorsteps famous people and puts questions to them that other people won't do.
You know, Luke, I've often wondered how you were able to get so close to those officials that you give the tough questions to without their security pouncing all over you. So I thought about it for a while and pulled up some pictures of you and looked at your ears to see if I could see traits in somebody who I suspected was your father. Yep. This is why you can get so close to these individuals without getting pounced on. Notice Putin's ears. You notice the lobe of his ear? It's stretched because he's older. Look at Luke's ear. It's the same exact ear. He's got the same traits as his father does, except his lobe is not as stretched because he's younger. Look at Putin's picture when he was younger. Look at that earlobe. It's the same as his son's. And if you couldn't tell, this is a green screen they shot this with. Notice the green haze on the guy's hair on the right-hand side. Not that long ago, I posted a video the people that we thought are running our country are not who they say they are. The rumors and the theories that you've heard about the Nazis making their way back here through Project Paperclip are absolutely true. I've verified it. And now you're going to see the verification right now. Maurice Greenberg. Or so I thought. See, Maurice claims that his parents were killed in Auschwitz. This isn't true. See, Maurice isn't who he says he is. I want you to take a look at this person. Josef Mengele. the angel of death from Auschwitz. I'm not going to go into too much detail about him. You can read as much as you want about him in other sites. You can see plenty of videos on him. But one thing I want you to realize, what they tell you about his death isn't true. Now correct me if I'm wrong. As I do this overlay over top of it, you can see the similarities. Now remember, this photograph that you see of Greenberg that he has on his website is 10 years old. He's 96 now. He does this for a reason, so you can't find who he is, so you don't know what to look for. Let's take a closer look at Joseph. This is a shot of Maurice Greenberg with one of his sons. Notice his son didn't have his teeth fixed. He didn't have the facelift that Maurice has. Notice the facial features on his son. The photograph that you see to the left is Joseph. Look a lot alike, don't they? Now let's look even closer. Greensburg once had an argument with Ahmadinejad. Ahmadinejad made a comment about the Holocaust, and Greenberg said that his parents were killed there. He knows that the Holocaust existed. And Ahmadinejad asked him, well, how old are you? Because at that point, Maurice gave up his real age. The age that he tells everybody he is on his website and his bio is incorrect. Because right now, he's 97. Which makes him the right age for this. Now, what you've been told about the person Joseph Mengele's death is a lie, and I'm going to show you some other individuals that are associated with Greenberg here that are also war criminals. That Greenberg's son, Michael Greenberg, aka Dallas Green from the Giffords event, has been having meetings with. Here we see them in Singapore. We see Maurice Strong, Vicky's father, Michael's wife, and another individual standing on the left here. I want you to take a close look at that individual. Pay real close attention to him. Here's another little collage of them. See how he's sitting? Notice his chin, the scarring on his chin. Look familiar? We'll take a look at this. Now, although these faces are slightly off on the angle, you can clearly see the facial features are the same, the landmarks are the same, the ears are the same. Now let's take a close look at the ear. So now you have to realize these individuals, they're some of the most powerful individuals in this world. Maurice Strong, Maurice Greenberg, they're both CFR, Trilateral Commission, Bilderberg Group. They're both backed by David Rockefeller. Maurice Strong here, he is so powerful. If you look at the list of his associates, it just runs the who's who of industry, of who's who of every country, of presidents, Mikhail Gorbachev friends. I mean, he's just everybody's friend. He's been around forever. He's the guy that invented the carbon tax scheme, oil for food. He's calling the shots. He's a Nazi. And do you realize that they're pretending to be Jewish? I wonder if their wives know, or I wonder if their sons' wives know, because they seem to be Jewish. Do they know that they've married Nazis? These guys have infiltrated into every aspect of our government, and they're making it look like the Jews are the neocons, the Jews are the ultranationalists, the Jews are the problem, when it's these guys who are fake Jews that are Nazis. Something needs to be seriously done and looked into when it comes to the CFR and Trilateral Commission. If the numbers of 50,000 Nazis is close to accurate, then I bet you there's a lot more in our government that have come over here through Project Paperclip with the intended purpose of undermining and destroying this country from within. And they're going to blame it on the Jews. Can you believe this? Unbelievable. Here's one more that's unbelievable. So what they've told you in the paper about these people being dead was a CIA front. When they were brought over here for Project Paperclip with the Bush family, they were set up with new identities. Some were given facelifts and plastic surgery, and they blended right on in. And they're still there today. They're still enacting their Nazi ways. They're causing the problem. If you like the information that you've heard in this presentation, please consider donating to wellaware1.com so we can continue to bring stories like this and others to the public.
Mark. T-minus 20 seconds. Auxiliary enable, signal return. Minus 15. Stand by for terminal count at T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Vehicles armed. 3, 2, 1. Fire. Missile away. Plus 5. Plus 10. Burn out. Good burn. Copy, good burn.
Mission Control, we have touchdown.
At which point they'll start what we call the gamma turn, where we turn directly up and head to space. 1 minute to release now. It's getting real.
So exciting.
"45 seconds. "30 seconds. The Spaceship Unity pilots are arming the launch pylon now. We are armed for release. 20 seconds. "10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Release, release, release. Clean release. Ignition. Good rocket motor burn. There's Mach 1 trimming now. Trim complete. Unity is pointed directly up and heading to space. Things are looking great. We are 25 seconds into the burn now, approaching Mach 2. 30 seconds, Mach 2. Everything's looking really good and stable. 40 seconds. 45 seconds. 50 seconds, approaching Mach 3. There's Mach 3. And 60 seconds, and that is a full duration burn, folks. We are headed to space. And the passengers in the back have been cleared to unstrap. Our predicted apogee is 279,000 feet and climbing. The pilots are now unlocking the feather, and as soon as they do that, it's going to initiate a backflip for Spaceship Unity. This is normal. We want those windows pointed down towards the Earth to maximize that incredible view. So feather is coming up now, and the pilots are also enabling the RCS, or reaction control system, which is what they'll use to control the attitude of the vehicle while we're outside the atmosphere. All right, feather is all the way up. We are at about 250,000 feet now and climbing. As soon as we cross the boundary to space, we'll hear a word from our founder, Sir Richard Branson. Welcome to Space, Unity 22. So it doesn't sound like we're cameras recording things on board today, and we'll be sure to capture his magical words and share them with the world when they're available. We reached apogee 282,000 feet. Remember the day, remember where you are, and remember who you shared this with, and remember the name Virgin Galactic, because today, space is virgin territory. The culmination of a life's work, more than a half a century since the world rejoiced in and was transformed by humans leaving planet Earth, Sir Richard Branson fulfills his long-held dream of experiencing space with his crew. Congratulations again, Richard, and congratulations also to Sarisha and Colin on becoming astronauts today. And welcome back to space to Dave, Mike, and Beth. Oh, you can see them now? So we are on the re-entry portion of our flight now, and the mission specialists are heading back to their seats. Our training team has worked really hard on this portion of the flight to make it very natural and intuitive for passengers. Now, when we talk about space travel, a lot of people know and expect the boost portion of the flight to be loud and thrilling, but what's interesting is re-entry is also very similar, as supersonic air is flowing over the vehicle in the feathered configuration. Shock waves form on top of the cabin, which are audible to those inside. And for those of you on site watching on the ground, you should be able to hear a double sonic boom as Spaceship Unity once again breaks the sound barrier. All right, folks, we are now subsonic, just under 75,000 feet in altitude. Now also note too, this is our first time transmitting HD camera data down to the ground and then out to a global live stream. So please do see some drops in the feed, but we still have some really great ground footage coming in here. Oh, there we go. Now we can see that is the tail cone of Unity. And the pilots are lowering the feather now. Now, as the feather comes down, the nose of spaceship is going to drop. This is normal and expected. Once that feather's down and locked, the pilots will begin a gentle pull up to a level attitude. And I'm hearing the feather is down and locked now. So at this point, Spaceship Unity is a glider, so it's all about balancing her potential and kinetic energy. So if the pilots want to go faster, they point the nose down, and if they want to go slower, they bring the nose up. And right now I'm hearing the crew's listening to a special soundtrack for the glide. It's the latest release from Khalid, a track called New Normal. And all of us will get to hear that on Earth during our celebration, so stick around for that. I don't know about you all, but I am still feeling overwhelmed and excited about what we just witnessed. And there's one person in particular who's got to be having all of the feels right now. You can see him sending a congratulatory shake to his passenger, Colin Bennett, there with him. Let's see if we can connect with the crew again here.
Is manual dump to 200.
So, Richard, you just went to space. This has got to be the ultimate birthday present for you. What was it like? All right, folks, again, sorry, we're not getting that transmission through the live broadcast, but again, we do have lots of recording devices aboard the spaceship, and we will be sure to release some footage of Richard and the crew up there today.
I've done some ridiculous things in my lifetime. That was really one of the one-day built experiences. It's a complete experience of a lifetime. And now I'm looking down at a beautiful spaceport. Congratulations to everybody for creating such a beautiful, beautiful place. Congratulations to all our wonderful team at Virgin Galactic for 17 years of hard work to get us this far.
All right, so I'm so happy we could catch a little
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
Bye.